Supernatural Season 12, Episode 6, Celebrating the Life of Asa Fox. Now, I think this is definitely my favorite episode of this season so far, and I think it was a perfectly done episode. It was one of those things where, obviously, it's a filler episode, and it does have some main plotline points in it. Of course, we get to see Billy, which at this point she's still just doing her normal Reaper thing, but I feel like considering her character, whenever someone's important, there's always at some point, even when they're just doing their job, at some point they end up doing something super special. So for now, we just got to see Billy, which is pretty cool. Of course, we got to see Mary come back, and there was a bit of development between her relationship, and Sam and Dean. So I thought that was cool, but ultimately, this was just a phenomenal episode. It was funny. It had some good action to it with all the hunters together, which is something we never see in general, so that was great. And then the emotional side of this was the best part of this episode because this show is very emotional. It has its emotional moments, but this, I think, was done so well because it was such an emotional thing, and yet it wasn't this sort of played up sort of emotional thing where it's like, this is an emotional moment. It was just so much stuff was happening after this guy's death, and then them being tortured by this demon, basically. And it was great. It was kind of like, here's some emotional stuff, here's some revelations here and there, and it's just kind of left for you to think about and, like, you look back on. There are lines in here, like, early on, and I don't know how many times we've heard it, but Dean is like, that's how hunters die. You just die during the life. And he even says there's no better way to die in this. And I was just like, man, how many times have we heard him say that? It's just how people go out. And then we get the revelation that he wasn't even killed by this ghost that was like kind of torturing him or anything. He was killed by his friend because he was being tortured by the ghost. And they had a little argument, and his friend pushed him, and he fell on a rock and died. And it's just like, man, that's how he died. And in Dean's mentality is like, there's no better way to die. Of course, different circumstance, he didn't know the truth, but just putting those things together is like, he's thinking there's no better way to die. And then we see he died because his buddy was really trying to help him live longer, oddly enough. And it's like, that's that man's death. Like, that was the life of that hunter. Like, he did all these crazy things. Mary saved him, and we go through all this stuff, and he died because his buddy was trying to tell him we should go back and get a weapon that we can utilize that'll actually help us. And he disagreed, and he shoved his friend, and his friend shoved him back. And that was his end. He fell and hit his head on a rock, and he died. And it's just a crazy thing to think about. And going through the beginning of this episode, I don't know if anything has ever been such a bummer of an opening where, they start off and, we get the flashback, and Mary ends up saving Asa as a kid. And so that leads him into the life of being a hunter. And they have the music playing and stuff, and he grows up, and he's, writing these notes to Mary that, of course, he can't send off, but he starts, following news stories and things like that. He's, making his own shells, and he goes and, like, he stops that ghost, and he's super excited and stuff. And he goes through all these missions, and he's with all these different ladies and stuff. And it goes through, and I was thinking, this is really cool. And, this is kind of awesome. We get to see this random person that was inspired to become a hunter. And, of course, with things as they are now, he's going to end up running into Mary or something like that. That's what I thought was going to happen. And it goes through this stuff, and he's just taking out monsters left and right. Apparently, 5 Wendigos. Somehow he got an angel blade. Like, by the time they got to that, I was like, I want to know about this dude. Because how the heck did he get an angel blade and do all this other stuff, and we, never really knew about him. So, all this stuff is happening. I'm like, this is going to be really cool. And then he dies in the opening. I was like, I can't believe they just did that. It was insane to see that sort of thing where this guy grows up. And it wasn't even like he was on a mission and it was like, oh, he's going to die, and we expect it. It's going through like the cool montage where he's just growing up and doing all this stuff. And he's running, and then, boom, he's just hung on a tree and he's dead. And that's it. And that's how the episode starts. And we go to the rest of it. And it was a crazy opening. Like, I've never felt that much emotion for like a totally random character in any show, just in the opening sequence where it's like, oh, I'm thinking all this other cool stuff is going to happen. And it's like, nope, he's dead. And then we go to how people celebrate who he once was, and how there's all these different mentalities, and how we have, these two twins who are actually, by the end we find out are actually the children of this guy. And, of course, all the different revelations and everything. And it was just crazy going through that, and it was like, this is a really great episode. The emotional stuff and seeing, the different types of hunters, all these different people together. We had the guy Elvis, who was really funny. The twins were hilarious too in that opening sequence when Elvis first went to Sam, and I just assumed he knew who they were. And then he sat down and was like, so what's your deal? And I'm like, he didn't even know them. I thought he knew who they were and was just like, hey guys, sorry, let me talk with Sam. But he didn't even know them because he sat down and was talking about them. And the brother was hilarious. He was just like, can you just be away from us really far right now? So that, like, I love them in the opening. Plus, along with some of the other stuff, two witch hunters, I thought that was freaking sweet. I was like, that is a great concept that I'm pretty sure it's had to have been in there somewhere, but I don't know, because even Sam was like, oh, that's crazy that they were, raised by a witch, but they ended up being hunters, so that was nuts. But I was like, this is a really cool concept. They introduced so many cool things. I was like, if they ever did end up doing, if they tried, I guess, to do the spinoff thing again, maybe some of these characters could get their own spinoff. Like the twins, I think, would probably be pretty cool. But it was like, man, they showed off all these interesting concepts and ideas. I was like, this is really sweet, and we get to see them, together with all these hunters and stuff like that. And it was just cool. And I love this episode. And like I said, it gets into the emotional stuff, of course, with our, Winchester clan. But it was sweet. And of course, Jodi was in it. All this other stuff was happening. But Jodi was back, so that was pretty cool. But I love this episode. It was really good. Got her appearance by Jodi. Surprise appearance by Billy. I think she may have been in the promo and I forgot, but I don't think I knew that. So that was really cool, and she, actually helps Dean get back. And when they had the ending sequence, I thought she was going to kind of make a threatful sort of play when she's like, you owe me one. And then she looked at Mary and was like, this one. I was like, oh, this is about to become a disaster right now. But she was calm about it, and it's like, of course she ended up being mad because Mary decided not to do it. But she's like, if any of you change your mind, because, like, you all have died way too much, and I need to start, I need to balance this crap out. So it's like, if any of you change your mind, you know my name. So I thought that was really cool. But I love this episode. I thought it was really good. We got some cool characters. Cool, characters we've already known. Like I said, I like the new characters that they introduced in this. Even the ones that died, like the Elvis dude. He was funny, of course, but sucked that he died. He also didn't seem to be that competent of a hunter, because when he first came in, when he was like, what's that smell? And then the twins say sulfur. I was like, even when he said that, I was like, it's going to be sulfur. And I'm like, how did he not know that? It's not every demon, I guess, is a sulfur demon. So, it's just like, oh, I just felt he should have known that, I guess, because I'm so used to it because of the show. But it was weird. It was like, it just seemed like he wasn't super confident. Just from that one question, I was like, that seems weird that he wouldn't know that. But I liked this episode. I thought it was a really good episode. Like I said, it was one of those rare filler episodes. It's kind of like what they did, I think it was like 2 seasons ago. They had like a crazy buttload of fillers. I think it was like season 10 or something when they were doing that. And they had like 1,000,000 fillers, but most of them were like really freaking great. Even though they did like nothing for the main story, they were just like really good fillers. And this is definitely in the line of like phenomenal fillers. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see how anyone could not like this episode. I thought it was just fantastic. Like, everything they did, I thought was good. Like I said, the emotional content of it was great. Even the demon was amazing to me, because the demon went in and it's like, oh, it's killing these people and stuff, and had a rivalry with this guy. And then the demon's like, tell them what happened. And the guy tells the truth, and it's like, all right, well, I guess that's all I need then, because because when he killed the Elvis dude in the beginning, I was really worried what they were gonna do with Jodi. But basically, the demon was like, threatening. I think the guy's name was Bucky. He was threatening Bucky, but he was pushing everyone else as they continued the thing. And it was kind of like, that's all he cared about, was like, just tell the truth. And then that happened, and they finished the exorcism, and he gets sent to hell. And I was just like, holy crap, that was it. Like, they didn't have to kill the demon or anything like that. They, of course, exorcised it, but it was just crazy. I was like, wow, that was really the point. It was kind of like, tell them what happened. And, if I can, as a demon, it makes sense to kill a few hunters along the way. But I just loved the way it played out. And then, it had that time after, and it's like, they decide that what they'll do is tell the story of Bucky, and that'll be his memory, that he killed his best friend. And not only did he do it, and it was an accident, which could have been simple enough, which would have sucked, but he covered his own butt and blamed this demon. So it was just crazy. I just love the way it all played out. But of course, I definitely want to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, least favorite parts. And now that we have Mary officially deciding she does want to be with her boys, this is more of an episodic sort of timing thing. But I want to know how long you guys think it'll be before Mary truly rejoins Sam and Dean in the bunker. Because it's been too long as far as I'm concerned, because she just came back to life. She should have been in every episode as far as I'm concerned. But things are really different for her. And Billy was right. She didn't say that she was wrong, so she decided to stay with them. But that didn't mean that Billy was wrong. So I don't really know what that means as far as the season goes. But I want to know how long you guys think it'll be before she ends up rejoining Sam and Dean, and possibly Cass. He's off doing his thing, his little buddy cop thing with Crawley. So who knows when he'll be back in the bunker with them. But I want to know how long you guys think it'll take. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. I wanted to show this little shirt off that I got, because I haven't been here. This like my dad's house. I haven't been here in like a long time. It's been a while. But I got this shirt from a convention, so I just got it today. It was on my bed, so I wanted to show this off since I got it. So that's my little Supernatural shirt. I think this actually is the first Supernatural shirt I have. I was going to buy one like a few seasons back. I think season 8 I was going to buy a shirt, but I just didn't end up getting it. And I got this from T-Turtle for anyone who might be interested. It's teeturtle.com. So I love this shirt. It's always like pseudo like kitty style a little bit how they do it. And I was like, Supernatural, gotta have it. So just wanted to randomly show that off. But like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.